What's up, guys? So today we're going to do another tabletop review going over a video of somebody experiencing a massive bleed. You guys got a lot out of the last time that we did this when we looked at a gentleman who had been assaulted and stabbed in the neck. We got to watch a arterial bleed together and kind of break down what happened. You guys were able to go over what would you have done in that situation. So we're going to take a look at another video. This was sent to us by upteenth amount of people throughout the week as it broke. This is the story of a gentleman who was assaulting his girlfriend. His girlfriend fled from him after the assault, locked herself in her neighbor's house, and at that point, the gentleman then tried to punch through the window. So this is the Amy screaming video. If you're familiar with it, you've seen it on the internet. So we're going to go ahead and take a watch and see what we think. Holy smokes. So you can see that spray right off the top. Yeah, look at that. So he's holding direct pressure. I noticed that. And that's kind of a natural reaction. Calling for help, right? A lot of calling for help there. Yeah, you can even see the woman's face behind him that comes up, right? That woman is so concerned about what she's watching. So a little bit of backstory on this. This gentleman was assaulting. He's been arrested for assault and battery, I believe. Because of what he had done to the woman before this scene starts. Remember, whenever we watch a video, we didn't see the time leading up to it or the time after, right? So a lot of people assume that this guy died. He didn't die. He did live. They were able to make a makeshift tourniquet that kind of worked enough to buy time for responders to get there. He still needed a blood transfusion. He still needed a lot of time in the hospital. And then he also has not regained full feeling in his hand. However, he has been arrested. And he's been formally charged for the crimes that he did against that woman, which is Amy in that video. So something I want to point out right off the top is a lot of people were like, "Oh man, that's a vein that he just severed." Well, it's not a vein. What most likely happened is he severed his brachial artery, and you can see it on the glass, the spray that happened as soon as it was severed, right? And so that's that arterial pressure we talk about inside of the circulatory system, like spraying as soon as it's severed, because it's going to take the path of least resistance. That's how fluid works. And it immediately soaks that window. And then you can see him having that natural reaction where he grabs the arm and he's calling for help. This just goes back to pressure, right? We teach it all the time in class, pressure packing tourniquets. And this is where it comes into. So even a tourniquet is just a bunch of centralized pressure shutting off that artery. Same thing with wound packing. You're putting a bunch of pressure pinching the artery, and direct pressure works if you are successfully holding it for the entirety of the time. This gentleman obviously is going to regret this decision for the rest of his life, and it's very traumatic. But something I want to point out is this could have been super easily handled if somebody had a tourniquet accessible. That nobody had a tourniquet here. It seemed like nobody really knew how to use it. From what I've read thus far, the 911 operator told them to make a makeshift tourniquet out of a shirt, which you can do. You can absolutely do. It's just going to be really hard to have consistent pressure, right? Versus a device that's designed to pull that pressure the whole time and then lock in place and stay there. So that's always my concern, is they're able to twist the shirt, but then they don't have anything, so they have to hold it. And they have to hold that twisted stick or rod or whatever, versus a tourniquet, which is able to lock in place. And then you can even, if you have the soft T, you can lock that triangle so it can't get out there. So I want to know, what would you guys have done in this situation? You got an extremely aggressive guy. He's acting extremely emotionally, comes up to a window, tries to break the window, apparently to, get after this woman here, and ends up becoming a victim and ends up becoming a casualty. So how would you guys have handled this situation? What would you have done a little bit differently? Would you have filmed the whole thing? Obviously that woman was probably in shock. A lot of people said, how could she not help him? How could she not render aid? She actually did. She helped save his life. So did the woman that was behind him, that showed up during the video. But understand that that's an abnormal situation. And in abnormal situations, people act abnormally. And so I just want to know, kind of in the comment section below, what would you guys have done different? Let us know. Share the video, like the video. Thank you so much. And this is another breakdown.